We're here at Jason DeBourmoran. Jason, you tried out the Xyboard.
Yeah, the Droid Xyboard from Verizon, and it has been a lot of fun to play with. I mean,
well, you're an IT guy and a social media guy,
Yep.
so you're getting the full look at a tablet. So tell us a couple of the things that you liked about it and used it for.
Well, for me, I think what I really enjoyed about this tablet in particular, compared to others on the market, is the form factor. For me, it's super comfortable to carry. You can easily carry it in one hand, and I think a lot of tablets you get so concerned about how you're holding it that you feel like you've got to have two hands on it. Mm-hmm. They've got this great like sort of rubberized edging around it that make that so you have grip. And I didn't really even feel like it needed a case when I was carrying it around.
And that's the 8-inch, right?
Yeah, this is the 8-inch. And it's really slick that way. The other thing that kind of makes that worthwhile too is the position of the power button. They've got the power button right on the back, and your volume controls are there, so you can really be using it one-handed and have full control over volume and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool. I love the way that the interface is set up on here too. I mean, it's an Android tablet. The way that they've formatted the Gmail app on here makes for really fast reading of email, and you could really power through your email in a faster way than I've had on any other Android device. Really. So that's one of the things that really jumped out to me is like just for quick getting through email. It was great.
And any things that were funky or stuff that you were surprised at, or
the only thing I'd say that really was like, oh, I wish this would be just a little bit different was the accelerometer or whatever. When you go from side to side, there's a little bit of delay in the flip, and that's the only thing that really threw me off at times. Because it'd be like, okay, how long do I have to wait for it to detect that? But otherwise, it's been really great. I've got a bunch of apps that I loaded on here. One of the ones that we loaded was the Trulia app for like a house hunting, because my wife and I are thinking of looking at a house. Yeah. And having the 4G baked in here, driving around neighborhoods and pulling up, the specs on a house that's for sale right there. Yeah. That was really slick. And it's got a nice big screen too, whereas otherwise I'd be on a cell phone, pulling my phone out and trying to look at the pictures. Sure. This, big, an 8-inch screen, you can sit back and kind of look at it and flip through all the images. It was pretty cool that way. So.
Yeah. So for house hunting, man, it must be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I could really, and I think they've even got, it's got a metal back to it too. So I was like sort of thinking, wouldn't it be great to have like a little suction cup thing and have that in the car? And, pull up in front of a house and be able to look at it without getting out and looking inside. It was pretty cool.
So since you went that direction, let me ask a follow-up question, because you know me, I always like to ask follow-up questions. Did you find that the the real estate industry is providing enough content for you to make good decisions on?
What's interesting about it is I found a lot more value in apps like Trulia and Zillow, which aren't exactly affiliated with at least to my knowledge, aren't affiliated with one. I've downloaded like the Coldwell Banker, like other company apps, and they're close. They're really close, but the ability to kind of just like navigate through a neighborhood and see where I'm going through GPS, that's the stuff that the other two, Trulia and Zillow, seem to have down.
Sure, and then you see what else is around. That's important.
Exactly. Right? Like if you're in a neighborhood and you're like, you go there for this one house. Sure. You can then pull up Trulia and go, oh, there's 7 more houses around the block or 3 over there. Whereas before with the sort of brick and mortar real estate apps, I felt like it was more, I need to plan this all out ahead of time. Whereas if I'm traveling around with a tablet, I want to see it while I'm in that neighborhood.
Sure, right. And you have a young family, so you're thinking about schools and all the other things.
Exactly. You can pull it all up. You've got the web browser there to search for maybe some unbiased reviews if you think you're getting some bias in there. Okay. Yeah.
And in your world in IT for Concordia College, tell me about tablets and where you see them playing a role, because you're at kind of this intersection of both higher education and the changes there, as well as from an administrative standpoint, seeing how an enterprise would actually deploy.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions about that. I think initially when a faculty or a staff member thinks about a tablet, they're initially looking at it for like the wow factor, and it's like, oh, what a cool kind of toy perspective. and as an institution, we always have to kind of ask, okay, what's the tool value of this device, or how do you see this making you a better instructor, or how will this improve your job, and that sort of stuff. So those are the questions we ask, and I think the tablet market is really maturing in that way now. I think at first there was a lot of just really flashy kind of toy type objects. But when I look at something like this with an HDMI out that I could possibly get plugged into a projector in a classroom and be able to, sort of browse the web as an instructor as I'm moving around the room fairly easily, that's a great way to do things. And so that's kind of cool. The video conferencing angle of it with the front-facing camera and rear-facing camera is pretty cool for being able to bring in, different like WebEx style conference apps and things like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Does that answer that question?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can follow you on, not you could follow you, because you probably follow you on Twitter, but others can follow you on Twitter at what address?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at New Coventry. That's where you can find me.
Good deal. Thanks so much for your thoughts.
Thanks a lot, Albert.